The house is quiet now. Too quiet. My wife passed 3 years ago. The kids visit once a month if I'm lucky, sometimes less. I am 87 years old, and I've learned something nobody warned me about. Everyone says the same thing. Just stay healthy, exercise, eat right, take your medications, as if a strong body is all you need to survive your 80s. But that's a lie. I've met people in their 80s with perfect blood pressure, perfect cholesterol, perfect everything, and they're miserable, lonely, forgotten, waiting to die. I've also met people whose bodies are falling apart, medications everywhere, can't walk without a cane, and they're thriving, laughing, surrounded by love. Living in the past, worrying about the future, you fail to live in the present. That's what I've learned at 87. At 89, someone once told me what they want on their gravestone: be kind, do good, and be loyal. And they try every day. That stuck with me, because at this age, being physically healthy means almost nothing if you're emotionally dying inside. The silence in this house taught me that if you're younger than me, listen closely, because one day you'll be sitting where I am. If you're my age, you already know what I'm talking about. Before I leave this world, I need to tell you 5 truths about life after 80. They're not what you'd expect. They have nothing to do with kale smoothies or morning walks. They're about the things that actually matter when you're running out of time. The things nobody talks about because they're uncomfortable, inconvenient, sometimes painful, but they're real. And if you understand them now, whether you're 50, 60, 70, or already 80, you might just save yourself years of suffering. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want the truth about aging. Not the sanitized version, the real one. Let's begin. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 82 and lives in Phoenix. Every morning she wakes up at 6 a.m., takes her vitamins, walks for 30 minutes, and eats her oatmeal. Her doctor says she's a model patient. Perfect blood pressure, perfect cholesterol, perfect A1C. But when I visited her last month, she was crying in her kitchen. "What's the point?" she said. Her husband died 2 years ago. Her kids live across the country. They call once a week if she's lucky. She's physically perfect and emotionally broken. Now let me tell you about William. He's 84 and lives in Denver. His knees are shot. His back hurts. He takes 6 medications every morning. His doctor says he needs to manage his conditions better. But William doesn't care. Every Tuesday he drives to the senior center, plays cards with his friends, and laughs until his stomach hurts. His daughter lives next door and stops by every afternoon. His body is falling apart, and he's the happiest person I know. Here's what nobody tells you about turning 80. Your body will decline, that's inevitable, but your spirit, that's a choice. When I was younger, 80 seemed so far away. Now I'm in my 80s, and time didn't just fly, it accelerated. My strength is gone. What's growing are wrinkles and pill bottles. But I'll keep fighting while I'm still here. That's the spirit you need. The happiest people I know at 80 aren't the healthiest. They're the ones who built relationships, who stayed connected, who found purpose beyond their blood tests. Physical health matters, of course it does. But at 80, emotional health is everything, because you can have a strong body and a broken heart, and I promise you the broken heart will kill you faster. This one is hard to hear, but it's true. Let me explain. There's a man I know. Let's call him Robert. He's 78 and lives in Seattle. His wife passed away 5 years ago. He was devastated. Last year he told his children he wanted to remarry. He had met a woman at the senior center, kind, caring, someone who made him laugh again. His children said no. "Dad, you're too old for this. What if she's after your money? What about our inheritance?" So Robert stayed alone to keep the peace. Now he sits in his house waiting for his children to visit. They come once every few months. He's lonely, depressed, and his health is declining. But his children are busy. They have lives to live and jobs to work. Compare that to Helen. She's 76 and lives in Portland. When her husband died, she also wanted to remarry. Her children said the same thing. "Don't do it." But Helen didn't listen. She married a man she met at church. He's 79. They travel together, cook together, laugh together. Her children were upset at first, but now they see how happy she is. And here's the truth. Your children love you, but they have their own lives. Your spouse or partner is there every single day. When you're sick, they're the ones holding your hand, not your children who live 3 states away. When you're lonely at 3 in the morning, They're the ones you talk to, not your children who are asleep in their own homes. I don't care if you have money or not. If you find someone who makes you happy in your 80s, hold on to them. Loyalty, kindness, doing good, those things matter more than any inheritance. Your children will survive without your money. But can you survive without companionship? That's the question you need to ask. Dorothy is 81 and lives in Portland. 2 years ago, her children convinced her to stop driving. "Mom, you're too old, it's dangerous. What if you get into an accident?" So she gave up her license. And you know what happened? She stopped leaving the house. No more trips to the library, no more coffee with friends, no more independence. Within 6 months, she could barely remember what day it was. Her children panicked. Is it dementia? No, it wasn't dementia. It was isolation, boredom, and a lack of purpose. Here's what people don't understand. When you stop doing what you can, your brain stops working. Yes, there are risks. Driving at 80 is riskier than driving at 40. But you know what's riskier? Sitting in a chair all day, losing your independence, giving up. Now let me tell you about Frank. He's 83 and lives in Chicago. He still drives, still goes to the gym 3 times a week, and still takes online classes about history. His children worry. "Dad, what if you fall at the gym? What if you crash your car?" Frank's response, "Then I fall, then I crash, but I'd rather die doing something than waste away doing nothing." And you know what? Frank is sharp, energetic, alive. The lesson here is simple. Don't let age be an excuse to stop living. Can you still drive safely? Drive. Can you still walk? Walk. Can you still learn? Learn. The moment you stop, your body and mind start shutting down. I've seen it happen over and over. People retire, stop working, stop moving, stop thinking, and within a year they're gone. Not because of old age, but because they gave up. So keep doing what you can, even if it's risky, even if people judge you. Because a life lived is better than a life wasted. Now here's the flip side. Don't force yourself to do things that make you miserable. For decades we've been told, cut salt, avoid sugar, limit fat, exercise every day. That's good advice when you're 40, maybe even 60, but at 87, it's nonsense. Let me tell you about Barbara. She's 79 and lives in Atlanta. Her doctor told her to restrict salt, lower cholesterol, and exercise for an hour every day, so she did. She ate bland food she hated. She forced herself to walk even when her knees screamed in pain. She took 5 different medications, and she was miserable. Her doctor said her numbers looked great, but Barbara felt terrible. Then she met a different doctor, someone who actually listened. "Barbara," he said, "you're 79 years old. If you want to eat salt, eat salt. If walking hurts, stop walking. Your body knows what it needs." So Barbara started eating what she wanted. She stopped forcing exercise. She cut her medications in half. And guess what happened? She felt better, happier, more alive. Her numbers went up. Her cholesterol increased. Her blood pressure rose slightly. But she didn't care, because she was living again. Here's the truth they don't tell you. At 80, your body's needs change. Forcing yourself to live by the rules of a 40-year-old can make life miserable. So eat what your body craves. Rest when you're tired. Stop when it hurts. Your body has kept you alive for more than 80 years. Trust it. At 87, I've learned something else. Medical tests can lie, but your body never does. Let me tell you about Charles. He's 86 and lives in Boston. Last year, his doctor found a small tumor during a routine checkup and recommended immediate surgery. Charles didn't feel sick, but he agreed. The tumor was removed. Success, right? Wrong. The surgery drained him. He couldn't walk for months. His energy never came back. He went from independent to bedridden. Now compare that to Helen. She's 82 and lives in Miami. Her doctor found something similar, a small mass, but Helen said no to surgery. "I feel fine," she said. "If it starts hurting, we'll talk." That was 3 years ago. She's still active, still happy, still living her life. Here's what I've learned. At 80, aggressive treatment can sometimes do more harm than good. Before you agree to any procedure, ask yourself, will this improve my quality of life or just extend my suffering? Because at this age, quality of life matters more than quantity. I'd rather have 1 good year than 10 miserable ones. Before I go, there are 3 more things you need to know. If you have money, don't save it all for your children. Spend it on yourself. I've seen parents deny themselves comfort their entire lives just to leave an inheritance. Then they die, and their children fight over the money. Take care of yourself first. Another lesson: cut toxic relationships. At 87, I don't have time for people who drain me. Some people complain, criticize, and take without giving. If someone makes you feel worse after seeing them, let them go, even if they're family. Protect your peace. And finally, my favorite advice: be a bad senior. Stop saying yes when you mean no. Stop worrying about what people think. You've spent decades being polite and accommodating. Now it's time to live for yourself. Eat dessert first, skip the reunion if you don't want to go, sleep until noon. People might call you difficult, let them. At 80, you've earned the right to live life your way. So there you have it, 5 truths about life after 80 and 3 final pieces of advice. Physical health isn't everything. Your partner matters more than your kids. Keep doing what you can, stop forcing yourself. Trust your body, not just tests. Spend your money on yourself, cut toxic relationships, and be a bad senior. These lessons took me 87 years to learn. I wish someone had told me sooner. Whether you're 50, 60, 70, or already in your 80s, it's not too late. You can still choose how you live. You can still find joy. You can still matter. Don't waste your time worrying about the past or fearing the future. Live in the present. Be kind, do good, be loyal. That's what I want people to remember about me. Not my cholesterol numbers or how long I lived, but how I treated people. Because in the end, that's all that matters. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me, what's one thing you've learned as you've gotten older? I read every single one. It makes this quiet house feel a little less lonely. Thank you for sitting with me today. Now go live well, love deeply. You're running out of time. We all are. Make it count.